Minister, if you spread marmalade too thin on a slice of toast, you won't even taste it. And that's effectively what we're doing with teaching resources in supersized classes. Last year, 1 in 7 primary school pupils were in classes of 30 or more. And in these instances, Minister, the weaker students and the stronger pupils both lose out, causing disruption in the class, which has an impact on the whole class.
Thank you. Minister.
Thank you, Deputy. I'm pleased to confirm that under the programme for government there is a strong commitment to make further progress in reducing the pupil-teacher ratios in primary schools and supporting small schools. As part of Budget 2021 measures, the Government have sought to deliver on this commitment by the announcement of a 1-point change to the primary staffing schedule and the introduction of a 3-point reduction in the number of pupils required to retain a teacher. For the 2021-22 school year, the staffing schedule is on the basis of 1 classroom teacher for every 25 pupils. This budget improvement has resulted in the lowest pupil-teacher ratio ever at primary school. The latest figures in relation to pupil-teacher ratio shows an improved ratio of teachers to pupils from 16:1 to 14.5:1 at primary level when comparing the 2015-16 school year to the 2020-21 school year. This compares favourably with the OECD pupil-teacher ratio, which is 1 to 15. In the same period, the staffing schedule improved from 28:1 to 25:1 for this school year. The most recent budget announcement will continue this positive trend of improving class sizes for this school year, and statistics on this will be published later in the year. The staffing schedule, which now stands at a new historical low, will also help to ensure better teacher retention in primary schools, while also ensuring that less pupils are required to retain or recruit a teacher. So significant improvements have been made in terms of pupil-teacher ratio. If you were to look from 2016 right to 2021, it has been a considerable achievement that we are now at an historically low level of 25:1. I appreciate, and indeed from my own experience, there is always opportunities to do more, and I am committed to doing all that we can to reduce that even further. You know, we have a significant budget. We will have further budget coming before us in October, and as you would be aware, Deputy, there will be considerable negotiation involved in that, but there is a very strong commitment under the programme for government to address the issue of pupil-teacher ratio even further.
Minister, I want to acknowledge the investment done by both the last government and the current government, and I think, look, our core objective needs to be that no child should leave primary school not being able to read and write, and needs to be supported to do that. Yes, you know, statistics shows up to 1 in 10 children fall into that category. Now, these larger class sizes result in less teacher time for each pupil. And while I accept that the pupil-teacher ratio has come down, we still have a significant number of pupils in very large class sizes. And I would urge you, Minister, to ensure that this is reflected in the budget investment, and not just that, but investment to support teaching principals and in relation to the capitation. And just an interesting figure in relation to the whole area of disadvantage, Minister, if we look at the large class sizes, students in classes of 30 or more, 10% of urban band 2 DESH classes fall into that category, or pupils fall into that category, and in rural DESH, nearly 12% of pupils fall into those larger class sizes. Something needs to be done.
Thank you, Deputy.
Again, thank you, Deputy. And I do want to be very clear, and I appreciate your acknowledgement of the progress, you know, that has been made to date. And I know from my own experience in the classroom the importance of, you know, continuing to pursue in this direction. And again, I reiterate that there is a very strong government commitment to doing that. And it is worth repeating that 25:1 is an historical low for us in terms of achievement in our schools. Equally to say, you know, that the significant budget of 8.9 million is a particularly significant figure in terms of looking at various other departments and the priority that is being placed in education. In particular, for example, I'd like to bring to your attention that we are even further resourcing schools this year going forward in terms of the CLASS programme, which is to provide additional learning supports within the schools. So we have provision made where additional teaching hours are being made available to schools this year, specifically as a COVID measure and as a consequence of COVID, but nonetheless to say that, for example, an 800 pupil teacher school will have 900 hours, which is 1 full post and a half for a school year.
Minister, and look, we've taken this up on a number of occasions since your appointment, and I'll continue to do that. But the practical reality is, if we look at the 2019-20 statistics for my own constituency, in County Galway, 1 in 5 pupils were in classes of more than 30. In County Roscommon, that's 1 in 6 pupils, and I don't believe that that's good enough. And we need to see priority put into the investment required in primary education to reduce those specific very large class sizes, to ensure that every single child can fully participate, not just within the education system, but when they leave education, in society as a whole, which has long-term dividends for us all.
Thank you, Deputy. And again, I am not agreeing with you about the importance of this issue. And again, I will point that in a very short time, in this past year alone, we have made significant inroads in this area. And again, I will highlight that a further commitment is that we are making available to schools additional teaching resources now in terms of teaching and learning for pupils who may well, even more so this year, have felt that they were disadvantaged because of COVID. And that's a significant, as I say, 800 pupil school, getting 900 hours, which is 51 weeks teaching, which in actual fact is a full post and a half a post for a full year. A significant additional investment into our schools. Equally so, I'll point to the 3-point reduction that was brought in as a consequence of budget last year, which allowed for the retention of a teacher within a school. So I'm very cognizant of the importance of it. I think substantial progress has been made, but as always, we are committed to doing even more going do even more going forward. Our commitment is not to be underestimated here. Thank you.